Welcome back to Small HD. My name's Wes, and I'm going to talk to you about our new monitor that we announced at NAB this year. It's called the dp4, and here it is. It's a 800 by 480 4.3 inch display, and we decided to make this monitor because we wanted to make an affordable Small HD monitor, and so this is it. It's going to be available for $549 when we release it, and it's got a lot of cool features. It comes with an LPE6 battery plate, so it's really ideal for using with DSLRs, primarily Canon ones, but we're going to have a Nikon bracket as well. And that's the thing, this looks like this bracket's molded in, but it'll actually come off and put different plates on. So AA plates, Panasonic plates, Sony plates, kind of the works here, because we know there's a lot of cameras that this monitor will be particularly useful on. So this monitor is meant to compete with some of the 5-inch monitors out there, and in fact it'll outperform some of them, especially using them on DSLRs, because we have our DSLR scale preset, which uses the full screen and the full resolution of the monitor itself, and it can actually produce a larger image size than a 5-inch monitor when using a Canon DSLR or Nikon DSLR. Like I said, the battery plate removes, this thing clicks off and it snaps on. It's got a wide voltage input and our dual battery plate as usual. We've got our power button here up top and a headphone output, which is different from the dp6, so that you can monitor audio when you're using HDMI. The same control system as on our dp6, so you got a scroll wheel that clicks and a couple of function buttons here, and then the bottom has got something unique as well. We've got an HDMI input as well as an HDMI output. So there are the two HDMIs. And this is an 1/8 inch mini size connector, but it actually will do component and composite. So you can do component HD video with a breakout cable that's included in the kit, and as well as composite. So if you need to check an SD signal, you can. And as usual, we've included a USB port for doing firmware updates and that type of thing. Speaking of firmware, both our dp4 and our dp6 have the same type of upgradable firmware, and they're actually going to be on the same platform moving on from here on out. So something we're going to be adding to the dp6 very soon is frame guides in version 2.0 of the firmware, so you'll be able to know how things will be cropped in post-production, and so that software will actually be on the dp4 moving forward, so they'll be in parallel in development as we move forward. So now you can see the dp4 sitting next to the dp6, and you can see a very clear size difference between the two. But I would say the main difference is the resolution of the two panels. Again, the dp4 has an 800 by 480 resolution, which is standard for most panels 5 inches and below. That's even down onto a lot of the new EVFs that are coming out. The dp6, on the other hand, has a 1280 by 800 resolution. That's nearly 2.5 times more pixels than you'll see here. So really it's sort of budget dependent, but it's also really, if you're trying to get exact focus, the dp6 is impossible to beat at this point for an on-camera monitor. So that's really what we recommend for precise focus. But the party piece of the dp4 at this point is the fact that we not only designed it to be a great inexpensive and affordable field monitor with a ton of features, we designed a loop attachment specifically for it. That turns the dp4 from a monitor into a viewfinder, which a lot of those are coming out. So viewfinders are kind of on the rise now, these electronic viewfinders, and we wanted to come up with something that was a true hybrid. So this is a 4.3 inch monitor that can definitely be used as a monitor, but it can also be used as an EVF. And so this is a prototype of what it will look like when we actually come out with the EVF in June. So it doesn't look as pretty as it will, and it's definitely not as strong. But it's a pretty cool little toy here. So basically, for the same price point as you can get an EVF, this kit together, the dp4 plus the EVF attachment, $749. So altogether, that's roughly the same cost as you can get another EVF on the market. So if you're looking for this type of setup, this is definitely highly recommended, because you're getting a great monitor and a great EVF without really any compromise. At this point, if you're trying to decide which monitor to get, it really boils down to just a couple things. We already talked about resolution. The dp6 obviously wins there, and so you're going to get a lot crisper picture, but the other one is inputs. Currently, the dp6, the basic one, the dp6 SLR, that offers HDMI and component via RCA inputs and then composite on the green RCA you can see here. So we've got our component and then our HDMI, and then you can do composite right there. But also you can throw in HD SDI, which these ports are capped right here, but you'd have two BNCs. One would be the input, the other would be the loop through output. So if you need SDI immediately, the dp6 is the way to go. We're in development of a SDI board for the dp4, but we don't have a timeline for that, and we expect it to be kind of the later half of this year. So right off the bat, you end up with HDMI and component, but the one benefit of the dp4 is you have a loop through. So if you're trying to go for a full system running off of a DSLR, you can go out of the DSLR into the input of the dp4, and then out the pass-through into the dp6. So you have both the potential for an EVF with a focus puller using a dp6 off to the side. It's important to know that all of these monitors we're continuing development on, and we're coming out with a lot of cool accessories for each and every one. So it's really hard to go wrong here. So that's it for us today. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you watching.